Alright, come on. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a late edition of Walk with Regis. Go. Go, Regis. Go ahead. Let me, do my rap thing. Alright, there we go. We got them secured. Today is October 22nd. The weather today, the highs will be in the high 60s, and the lows will be in the high 40s to low 50s. I only ever say it that way and not give the exact degree because I know that it varies. The weather could be off as much as a few degrees, 5 degrees maybe. And so if I tell you guys one thing and your little section of the area says something 5 degrees off, yeah, there will be a 2% chance of precipitation today. Now let's see what kind of news stories we got today. Alright, let's see. Alright. So I remember saying something about the Buffalo Public Schools to file a human rights complaint against Section 6. Let's go ahead and read that one today. Buffalo Public Schools Board of Education has voted to file a complaint with the New York State Division of Human Rights against the New York State Public High School Athletic Association and Section 6 citing discrimination. On Wednesday night board meeting, President Lou Petrucci accused the association in Section 6 of discriminatory practices that intentionally prohibit people of color and the board from participating in decision-making process. The motion comes less than a week after Bennett High School's football team was forced to forfeit their first 6 games of the season, allegedly for having an ineligible player that did not formally transfer to the team from her previous school. The freshman athlete was deemed eligible to play today. Superintendent Tanja Williams said she is meeting with Section 6 officials next week to discuss the forfeited games. In a statement, the Assistant Superintendent of Athletics at Buffalo Public Schools, Michael House, described the issue as a clerical error and said the issue needs to be overturned and the win-loss record for Bennett High School needs to be restored for the first 6 games. So basically, it's an athletic thing. One athlete transferred from one school to another. I guess they were missing paperwork. It got taken out of proportion, maybe. That's at least what it sounds like. And now there's a human rights discrimination being filed. Okay, well, that's that story. Of course, you guys are always free to formulate and judge or make your own opinion based off of the information given. That was the information I was given. This is the judgment that I have come up with. I know that plenty of times I have, good boy, when I moved from Texas from New York, or when I moved from Pennsylvania to Texas, I tried to enroll in high school. I was 18. They wanted me to go to the adult high school. I guess I was missing a bunch of paperwork, and they gave me the runaround. I couldn't attend. And to this day, I still don't have a diploma or a GED because of clerical error. I can't claim human rights discriminations because they just didn't have my missing paperwork. So for me to continue my education, so that way I could at least be eligible enough for a diploma. the lady in that filing office that day doesn't know it, but she has affected my entire life ever since that day. The lady was a black lady. Now, am I calling out racism and discrimination? No. I'm just saying she didn't get the paperwork from my high school for her to enroll me in that school. So that way I could continue my education and get my GED and diploma, and it's been screwing me over to this day. I mean, not job-wise. I've had plenty of jobs. I've stayed with plenty of jobs. But, like, if I want to go back to college, which I do, I can't. Or if I want to go to college, or if I want to do something more, I can't. I don't have that diploma. I was never able to do anything that requires a diploma. All right. Hi, Catty Bree. Hi, baby girl. Hi, sweetie. Look how excited he was to see her. All right, let's see. I do want to see what this massive blizzard room 1 hour from Buffalo is. I'm going to just briefly glimpse. There's a room in the Canada Goose store in Toronto. Oh, I see what they're talking about. It's not a special room to view, have a unique view of a, it's not a special room to have a unique view of a blizzard coming in, which is what I thought. But it's basically just a room in Canada that gets so cold. Boy, he does not like the sound of that car. You feeling frisky today? You jumping out of cars? That was the second car you jumped out at. All right. Here's a unique article. Nurses discover unique similarity with twins they delivered. When Lauren and Chris Meehan were getting ready to meet their twin daughters earlier this month, they were in for a pleasant surprise ahead of their baby's arrival. We were in the operating room with 2 teams of doctors and 2 teams of nurses. The nurses had asked in the room if we picked out names yet, and we stopped and were like, yep, Emma and Julia. The room got kind of quiet. They all looked around and everyone started to giggle because we found out that the 2 nurses they were going to take care of the babies when they did come were both Emma and Julia. It isn't every day that postpartum nurses Emma Anderson and Julia Van Martyr, who'd been at Rose Medical Center, nicknamed Denver's Baby Hospital for years and 3 years respectively, get to care for babies who share their own names. Okay, well, I mean, for me, twin names should always sound similar, but that's just a me thing. So, like, or, you know, be similar, since twins are similar. Let me see if I can think of an example. I used to have a whole bunch, in case twins were ever in my card, but apparently kids weren't in there at all. I'll think about it for a second. I'll get back to that. I want to continue more news stories. Governor Hochul and Buffalo Mayor to honor TOPS mass shooting victims. Victims of a mass shooting at Buffalo supermarket will be honored with a permanent memorial in the neighborhood. Governor Kathy Hochul and Mayor Byron Brown announced the creation of a commission on Friday tasked with planning and overseeing construction of the monument in East Buffalo. The governor is from the area. She said the shooting is part of the Buffalo story forever going forward. You guys don't want to see that. That's not why you visit this channel. 19-year-old Peyton Gendron of Conklin has pleaded not guilty to charges that he killed 10 black people and wounded 3 victims at a Tops Friendly Market on May 14th. I don't understand how this can happen. I don't get it. There's all this massive amount of evidence against him. There's video surveillance footage of him doing it. There's eyewitnesses that place him there with the gun in his hand, actively discharging the bullets at these people and murdering them. And then there's the live video feed, and he's saying, I'm not guilty. I didn't do it. You knew full well what you were doing when you started this whole thing. Own up to what you did. Plead guilty. Why people don't own up to what they did, I don't know. I'm not going to read the article unless you want me to later, but I will read the title. Landscapers find car buried decades ago in the yard of a San Francisco Bay Area home. I've heard stories about this kind of stuff before. People doing something in their backyard, excavating whatever, find a whole car buried in their backyard. You never know what lies beneath. Alright, let's see what other kind of news stories we got. Oh boy. Matthew Perry is on life support with a 2% chance to live after his colon burst from opioid abuse in 2018. We might lose Chandler Bing. Come on, stop barking at that random person in the car. Stop. Stop, you little thing. What you gonna do? Gnaw his ankles off? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Perry opens up with his memoir. He almost died a few years ago. 2% chance. The French star, 53, details his struggles with opioid and alcohol addiction in his new memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, which comes out November 1st. He spoke to People magazine about his revelations, including that he was given a 2% chance to live just 4 years ago when on life support. In 2018, then 49, spent months in the hospital recovering from surgery from what his publicist said was a gastrointestinal perforation. However, his book details how he was actually in the fight of his life after his colon burst from opioid abuse. He was in a coma for 2 weeks and on life support. In total, he spent 5 months in a hospital recovering and had to use a colonoscopy bag for 9 months. The doctors told my family that I had a 2% chance to live. I was put on a thing called an ECMO machine, which does all the breathing for your heart and lungs, and that's called a Hail Mary. No one survives that. So I guess this already happened. This article is incredibly misleading. This made it sound like that this just happened. Alright, I'm done reading you. No, not what I wanted you to do. Alright, next article. Busted on a joyride. How this upstate New York man didn't get far in a fire truck. Firefighters were responding to a call in Buffalo, New York, and while in the midst of performing their heroic duties, they noticed something missing. It wasn't a hose or a ladder, it was their entire fire truck. Somehow the truck vanished from the scene while the blaze was being contained, and no one knew where it could have gone. Luckily, it was later discovered a short distance from its original location, and the culprit was apprehended from there. Second part of the story has now been told as the driver has been officially indicted. As reported by ABC News 10, a grand jury has indicted a Buffalo man for stealing a fire truck and taking it on a joyride. The truck was parked on Main Street's 500 block in July of this year as a four-man crew responded to a call. They returned to the street to find something big and red was no longer parked in the street. As it turned out, the truck had been stolen by 25-year-old Yassine Abdelkader, who proceeded to drive it only 1 mile down the road to an area near Delaware Avenue and Allen Street. WGRZ in Buffalo explains more in their news on the arrest. During the course of the joyride, the suspect reportedly hit multiple parked cars sitting in the road. He also allegedly triggered a fire extinguisher in the vicinity of the truck. Once it was parked, based on the smoke that was seen around it after rediscovered, he was arrested and indicted for his crimes on Tuesday. Here are the charges he are left with: grand larceny in the second degree, criminal possession of a stolen property in the second degree, criminal mischief in the second degree, obstructing emergency medical services misdemeanor. If convicted, he can face a maximum of 15 years in prison, per a report from ABC. So, there's that. Oh wow, there's a whole ass refrigerator out here. A broken one. Dirty too. Come on. Ew, look how dirty that is. Come on. No. No. I saw you. Good boy for not picking it up. Alright, Cheektowaga man indicted for allegedly murdering his estranged wife. Adam Benefield was arraigned in state Supreme Court on Friday for the domestic incident following shooting his estranged wife. Boy, they got this article worded all weird. Adam Benefield was arraigned in state Supreme Court, 1 count of murder in the second degree, 1 count aggravated criminal contempt, and 3 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. According to Erie County District's Attorney's Office, Benefield allegedly shot his estranged wife while she was sitting inside her vehicle near Richland and Shawnee. Kira Benefield's 3 children were inside the vehicle at the time of the shooting. Kira Benefield, who was also known as Kira Hudson, died at the scene. He fled the shooting, but later police and marshals located him a week later and arrested him. He's accused of committing the shooting while violating an order of protection. Because those things don't do a damn thing. And it's hard to get an order of protection. I went with a friend of mine to try to get an order of protection and was proceeded to have told by the police that the guy she was trying to file the order of protection against needed to physically harm her first before granting her the order of protection. And then even then it doesn't ever get enforced because, you know. Alright guys, I'm going to make that it. That's it for this video. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you don't, smash the dislike button. Share if you guys want to. Subscribe if you want to. And we will see you next week. Bye bye guys. Bye bye.